Dakota, come here.
Hello. We're gonna film a video together. Right now we're on Warped Tour. We're with our friend Kyle. He's back here. We're on his bus.
What up?
And his bunk is leaking water for some reason, and it's kind of loud right here. So we thought maybe we could just squeeze in his little bunk.
The bed's gone.
Yeah, the bed's gone because there was water everywhere. So it's just a little bit of wood. We got some like coupons for socks. I put this feather in Kyle's hair.
It's a bit squished.
I feel like we're like at a slumber party. I feel like this is how girls sit at slumber parties like this with their feet back.
Oh yeah, they do.
We're gonna do a Q&A, I think.
Yeah.
So we both kind of posted pictures, and we're gonna pick five questions from each picture. But I don't know what she picked, so they're all gonna be random questions that I didn't have any time to prepare for. So it's just a surprise.
I don't even have to do an intro. You just did it for me. Thanks. Oh, snacks.
Kyle, will you shut the fuck up? We're filming in here. Do you know Mariah Carey?
Yes.
Do you know the song?
Is there words?
Oh yeah. It's always being my baby. I don't know. It's been stuck in my head since I was born, so.
That's cool.
Still stuck in my head right now at this given moment.
What do you think happens when we die?
Oh God. Okay, death. What I think happens after we die? Oh fuck.
I feel like it's like before we were born. Like, you know how before you were born you don't.
Yeah.
You don't really.
I mean, I feel like that's.
You don't really know. Like, you're not conscious of it.
That's a
similar.
logical conclusion, but I feel like the fact that something is happening right now makes me feel like there's always going to be something happening.
Yeah. So you believe in like reincarnation?
Yeah, I guess I believe in reincarnation, but I don't know if I believe like that there's like a individual that's being reincarnated into different bodies. I think there's just like one thing that's kind of just expressing itself as a bunch of things. So I think like every body is a reincarnation. Like every life that's being born right now is us reincarnated. And like I think like our ancestors, like we're the reincarnation of our ancestors, and that's like what instincts are, for example. I always think about this. Like I think like when you're afraid of the dark or something, of like something like an irrational fear of the dark because of like monsters or something like that under your bed.
Like it has to come from somewhere.
Yeah, that comes from your past lives of you having to be afraid of like tigers and stuff like that because your ancestors had to deal with that. So like that fear was useful to be passed on in this incarnation. So that's why we have things like fear, and same with our desires and stuff like that. That's all from us reliving like the karmas of our past lives. And I think the same kind of thing is going to happen after we die, just different form than we're in now.
That makes death less scary too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you can die. I don't think there is death. Death is just a concept. Just like karate or something. Like karate.
We just like leave this physical form, but I feel like our souls still exists.
Yeah. I think our souls it exists in everything.
Yeah.
And we can't die. Nothing can die. Death is an illusion. Life is an illusion. It's all just one thing happening. Cue Twilight Zone music.
When is Dakota gonna dread his whole head?
Probably never. But then again, I don't know though, because I never thought I would ever have any dreads, and I got a couple now back here. But I actually prefer braids for some reason. Like I'm really into like braids. I like the mix. I like to have the best of all the worlds. I have commitment issues, if I'm being honest. That's what this is really about.
How do you get over a broken heart?
Oh, you just gotta realize you're not broken.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. You can't be broken. No one can actually break you. I think you get over it by convincing yourself you're broken, going through all like the mud. Like there's, I don't know who said it, I think Roshi Joan Halifax, she's like a Buddhist teacher. She wrote a book called No Mud, No Lotus, I think. But no mud, no lotus, like you can't have a beautiful without like the negative. And I think sometimes we have to convince ourselves we're the negative to realize that we're actually not, and that we're actually the beautiful thing. So I think it's like useful sometimes to be heartbroken because you reconnect with yourself on like a deeper level afterwards, and you kind of realize
everybody just has something to teach you.
Yeah,
some
absolutely.
People aren't meant to be in your life forever.
Heartbreak's the biggest teacher.
Yeah, for sure.
You get over it just by getting over it. When you're ready to get over it, you'll get over it. Otherwise, you still have some lesson to learn. Have you ever been heartbroken before?
I guess it depends what you mean by heartbroken.
Like, has like been in a relationship with someone and they
I've
like
never been broken up with, but I've been like cheated on before.
and like it just hurt your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird that you can actually physically feel like heartache when someone hurts you.
It's like an actual thing with your heart too.
Is
It's
it?
not just like a metaphorical
Oh
thing.
wow, I didn't know that.
There's like actually a part of your heart that physically is hurt when you feel like heartbreak. I was watching some video about it the other day. What's your theory on aliens?
Life is probably scattered everywhere throughout the universe. I'm sure there's like literally microorganisms and crazy aliens and aliens we can't even see. There's probably so much variety of life everywhere, just floating throughout the universe.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it's probably stuff we couldn't possibly imagine.
Oh, for
'cause we've
sure.
never experienced
Absolutely.
anything like it.
I mean, just think about how much life's on Earth right now. There's so much variety, like a frog or like a lobster. Like, oh, what the fuck is a lobster doing here? That thing does not look like it belongs on Earth. But there's two possibilities. One possibility is that for some reason we are just alone in the universe, and like this is just some crazy thing that's happening, and we're just thrown into it by some mystery. Or there's just life everywhere.
Which one are you believing
I
more?
think there's definitely just life everywhere. But I think either way, either answer is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck to either of those?
There's definitely life on other planets. It's probably like a completely different form of life. They might have completely different senses or
Yeah, well, it could be like something beyond our senses. Like, yeah, like it just be something so alien that it's just like we don't even have the capacity to see it, like the equipment to pick it up in our bodies.
That's true.
Like, I'm sure, like, I don't know, like, you ever seen those one bugs? I think they call them rods. I think they're supposed to be like, I don't know if they know they're real or not, but some like conspiracy theorists think they're real. They're these really fast bugs, and like people catch them on camera sometimes. Have you ever seen those? But some people think that like those things could be aliens. We just can't see it because we're like they're so fast that we just can't see them. So like it's out of our equipment. We don't have the equipment to pick that up. But like if you're a bat or something, bats could probably see those things. So maybe aliens are like that, like only some, like, you know, just completely could be anything.
Have you ever had any psychedelic experiences that have changed the way you think? I feel like all of them changed
Yeah, I feel
the way you
like
think.
that's like kind of the byproduct of taking it. So the psychedelic experience for me has been like the thing that made me, that showed me that there is other ways to think, and like in like a fundamentally different way. Like, because you can obviously have realizations and like change the way you think and change your beliefs and stuff just naturally in life by whatever happens, whatever influences, you know, you just go through life and you change. But like the psychedelic experience can literally catapult you into like a different way of perceiving things. Like, I feel like if you go off the deep end, you come back speaking the same kind of stuff that like Jesus was saying and stuff, or like Buddha or Shiva or something. You come back like basically speaking scripture, even if you didn't, like, you just download some crazy information from wherever. That's my experience. I don't know if everyone has that experience, but what about you?
Can't wait to be Jesus.
To meet him?
To be him.
To be him?
Yeah.
You already are Jesus.
I guess so.
Did you ever have any psychedelic one that changed the way you think and experience?
All of them. It made me feel more connected to nature and like trees and just all that stuff that I never really paid attention to.
Yeah, you don't really see it. Yeah, that's
and I
interesting.
never really appreciated it until I did.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think part of it is because we don't really live in nature as much as we like did in our primal
Do you think
time.
we're just so distracted too? Like we're just so focused like on our own bullshit?
Which makes me wonder, like, back in like primal time, did we like have more of that awareness that you get with a psychedelic experience?
You must, right? Because I feel like a lot of indigenous cultures seem to have these beliefs naturally.
Yeah.
Whereas like the psychedelics kind of have to beat it into us, like, pay attention.
It's so crazy.
You hear like Native Americans.
Like that exists,
oh, it's so crazy. I don't understand how we aren't like all worshiping it as like like for real. I don't understand how they've kept it under wraps. It's crazy almost. Like that experience exists, and it's reproducible for anyone that takes it. You don't have to have any belief. Terrence McKenna used to say, just take it. It requires no belief. So if you live in a trailer park in Detroit, Michigan, or you live in a bus traveling around America, it doesn't matter. If you have a psychedelic experience, it's like it will deliver itself. There's an integral truth that is just like waiting to be unlocked inside of us, and for some reason a mushroom tells us that.
Imagine if we lived in a culture where it was normal and not like a taboo thing.
I can't even imagine, like if we had like a culture of like understanding this experience, like I wonder how far we could take it, and like what we would be experiencing if we were like really discovering these realms instead of focusing our energy where we are focusing it.
How do you deal with travel anxiety? Do you ever get travel anxiety?
Not too much, really. Like I get anxiety, and I travel because of that. Like it helps get rid of my like normal anxiety in life.
Yeah.
Like I just like, if I'm like at home too long, I'll freak out, and I'll have to travel to like keep myself sane.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
And I mean, I guess I get travel anxiety. Like, I hate being stuck in a bus for too long.
Yeah, I feel the same.
I don't know if that's anxiety, but I don't know. It's exciting.
I feel like traveling can be scary at first if you've never really done it before, as with like anything. But once you do it and you keep doing it, you realize it's not that scary. And once you're like in the moment, it's not scary.
Yeah.
I feel like you just overthink it
totally
and you think that it's gonna be worse, but it's actually great.
God, it's worth it. You're only alive for a little bit. You're on a planet. See your planet.
I used to not talk to anyone. Like I was completely mute. So like if I can travel and be okay, anybody can.
Yeah.
Tips to save money while traveling. And do you think you're a starseed? What's a starseed? I've heard that word a lot, but I don't know what it means. Is it kind of like...
I think it's like an alien.
Like, is it?
Like,
I thought it was like an indigo child kind of thing, which I don't really know what that is.
I think a starseed might be like a hybrid human alien. I could be making that up too. Tips to save money while traveling? Just save your money. Like I don't spend money all my money goes towards traveling, really. Like I've kind of gotten rid of all my expenses that I don't really need. Like I pay for my phone, and like I help my mom out a little bit with like her bills, but like I don't have a car, and if I did have a car, I'd probably just live in it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not in a place where I want to be stable, like stuck somewhere.
Yeah, that's the same with me.
All my money I save goes to just traveling.
Yeah, traveling and food.
Yeah. But tips to save it? Yeah, just save it.
Don't buy useless shit.
Yeah, don't buy stuff you don't need.
Don't waste it on rent if you want to be traveling full time.
And the starseed thing, people always say like that to be like poetic. They're like, we come from the stars, which is like so. I guess it's true. Like I don't know, like scientific level, we are stardust. But like, well, how come people stop there? Like why don't they like what about before the stars? Where do the stars come from? 'Cause that's where you really came from. What's the source of all of that? Because that's who we really are. If we're stardust, then we have to be whatever created the stardust too.
That's true.
I always was weirded out why people stopped there.
That's a good point.
I mean, stars are beautiful though, so it's like a nice thing to say.
Have you ever tried DMT?
Yeah, I've tried DMT. I've tried it 5 times, I think, and people get weird. Or like I said this in a video once. I was like, I think I tried it 4 or 5 times. And like, do you think? But it's like, because one time I did it, it didn't really work. So I'm always iffy about like claiming it as an experience.
Like you didn't have like a breakthrough?
It just didn't even really do anything. Like it kind of was a little trippy, but not really like the other experiences. So that's why I always I don't know. But yeah, I've definitely tried DMT. I've had 2 breakthrough experiences, and they were crazy. I feel like I don't really. I guess it's useful. I find like LSD or mushrooms to be way more useful for like understanding yourself. I feel like the DMT is just like jumping into. Have you tried it before?
No, I can't smoke, so I can't try it.
It's too scary. It's like really overwhelming. It's like physically jumping into like another universe where you just like it's like your body doesn't like being like sucked into a black hole or something. It's like completely just alien from where you belong. Or it's like walking into a party that you don't know anyone and everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy? And everyone's just looking at you. That's what it feels like. Except you're also, it's like a circus of kaleidoscopes and
Somebody
stuff
told me
flying
that
at you.
when they broke through on DMT, they felt like they were in like this kind of soul soup kind of thing,
soul
waiting
soup.
to be reincarnated.
Oh jeez, yeah.
Have you ever experienced like that?
No, I never experienced nothing like that. Well, kind of actually. What I experienced was like, the only way I can really describe it is that it was like a cosmic operation table, and these serpents were ripping my stomach open.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It
Was
sounds
scary?
crazy.
Were you afraid?
I was overwhelmed. I wasn't. So I kept having to like repeat myself in my head, like, because I know the kind of experience people have. Like, I wasn't dumb going into it. Like, I've read all about it, so like I kind of knew what to expect on some levels. And I know people have crazy stuff like that. So like I just had to tell myself, like, this is why I did this. I know, like, just show me what you need to show me. This is why I took it. And I just kept having to surrender in my head. And as soon as I could finally let go, it just, everything turned white, and it was just like overwhelming love and bliss. And just like, I was like crying when I came back. But yeah, like just the serpent stuff alone was so overwhelming that like I don't even need to, like, I don't want to experience that again, you know? I would rather just stick with like mushrooms or something that's a little easier to navigate with.
Would you ever do like ayahuasca?
Oh, I would love to do ayahuasca, yeah. I feel like ayahuasca, from what I've read, is a little bit easier to navigate also. It's not so like rough. Or maybe, I guess it's rough because you puke and stuff, but it's not so rough, like overwhelming rough. Like it's kind of it's got to come up instead of just being like tossed into it, you know?
It lasts longer too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it lasts longer. DMT is like 10 minutes and you're like, what the fuck just happened? As ayahuasca, you're there for 8 hours. You can kind of like figure out what's going on a little bit, or have some start mapping out the experience.
I think that's enough questions.
Okay, cool.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're doing another Q&A on his channel, so I'll put that in the description.
Come over and watch it if you want.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say?
Thanks for coming and hanging out and stuff. Finally got to hang out.
I know. I feel like I've hung out with all your friends, but not you.
Yeah, I feel like we've hung out though, in like the astral realm or something. Like I feel like we know each other already. You know what I mean?
Do you know the song Dakota by A Rocket to the Moon?
Yeah.
Because that always plays in my head when I hear your name.
Do you? I introduced myself to him once. I was like, oh, my name's Dakota, and he just said, interesting name.
Okay, that's all. Bye.